Shalom, fam. This is Or Ibri, author of Making Your Enemy Your Footstool, investor and consultant. So, just a little update. What is this? What is today? Tuesday, I think. I lost track of the days. Um, so, been in quarantine 4 days. Um, the symptoms today: a lot of fatigueness, a lot of tiredness. Every day is something different. I think the difference between this and any other sickness I might have, regular flu, common cold, something like that. Every day is different. Like today, I've been extremely tired, um, sleeping all day, or most of the day. Um, my taste is still going. My smell is still going. The ironic thing is, I was cooking something in the air fryer earlier, and I thought I could smell it, but that might have been just my mind playing tricks on me. But this is just something different. So I'm just pushing through it, trying to do what I can do what I need to do as much as I can. Um, that's all you can do in this circumstance situation. So I was looking through, saw some a book that I kind of wanted to read, looking at, just kind of flipping through it, and I came across one of the sections where it was talking about knowing when to quit. Knowing when to quit is so important. Um, I know one of my problems in my life has been not knowing when to stick with something and not knowing when to quit something. Honestly, like I've always stayed in situations where I should have left, and I've always quit things that I should have kept going in. There's been numerous relationships that I've been in where I was in a relationship 2, 3 years longer than I should have been, and there were business ventures that I quit, you know, 6 months sooner than had I kept going another 6 months, I would have been successful. So, um, that's always been my issue. But I know I'm not the only person that suffers with this, and it's very important to know when to quit something. And a lot of times people get confused. First off, they're like, I don't really know. A lot of times people don't know when to quit. And I know a part of my issue, especially when it comes to quitting certain things, has been I'm an individual. And this is me. I can't speak for everybody else. Everybody's experiences and how it shapes their view on life is different. For me, it was me playing sports, and you've been taught this mentality on not to quit, never give up, da 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 da. So, without having the proper guidance, you take and you apply that information, or you apply that thought process to parts of life that it should not necessarily apply to. So here I am sticking in relationships, not wanting to be seen as a quitter because I'm applying something that I took from playing sports to my life when I shouldn't have. Now, I know a lot of people, sometimes they are confused on, hey, when is it good for me to quit? And no one wants to be labeled a quitter. The first thing you have to realize is it's your life. That's the first thing. Before anything else, it's your life. And whatever decisions that you make in your life, you're the one that's going to have to wake up every single morning, look yourself in the mirror, and be content with those decisions. So sometimes, for instance, relationship wise, we'll stay in a relationship because we don't want to disappoint the other person. So we wake up, look ourselves in the morning, every morning, and I'm not talking about just a norm. Every relationship is going to go through stuff. We do this with jobs as well. Here's the thing: every job you're going to go through something. It's not going to always be roses and gumdrops, and peaches and cream. It's not. Jobs, relationship, life is not. So you can't just, this isn't cool to me right now, I want to quit. No, you got to realize, hey, is this serving me how I need to be served? Am I getting what I need to get out of this circumstance overall? And I tell you all, I remember one particular relationship that I was in with a young lady. And I just look over the relationship, and I was like, man, I literally wasted, you know, almost year of my life, of my early 20s, um, that I can't get back. And not even the time, the energy that I wasted, the resources that I wasted. Um, we literally was just spinning wheels, wasting each other's time. Um, we literally was like, we weren't making any plan. I remember sitting down having a conversation with her, or we were driving somewhere, and she was telling me, "Hey, I'm coming up. I just came up with this idea. I'm gonna make some money." Now we've been in a relationship for a while now, and we are monogamous. We are in a relationship. We got in, like, this ain't something we just, no, we really liked each other. We wanted to be in a relationship together. And she's like, "Hey, I just came up with this idea that's gonna make me some money." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. You mind sharing your idea with me?" Nah. And I'm like, "Hold on, we're in a relationship. Like, I'm not just some random dude off the street. I'm not just, you know, one of your old homeboys or whatever. Like, we're in a relationship together, and I'm not gonna steal your idea. Like, just sharing things. She was always secretive, like, and we literally just never built. We never went anywhere. We never progressed forward. We never moved forward. It was just stuck. And and the thing is, that was still time and resources that I dedicated. So, a lot of days before I would go to work, I would go over her house. We would, spend time together for a little bit before she would go to work, and then I would get up, I would leave, and then I would go to work. I would go back home, get ready to go to work. But those, 4 or 5 hours that we were spending together in the mornings, like I could have been building my life up, and I wasn't, and I didn't know how to quit because I was like, oh, I can't quit. Like, we ended up breaking up, but we shouldn't have lasted as long as we did. I mean, maybe should have been maybe a month thing. Like, you know what, we just not clicking, and went on about our business. And a lot of us do that. A lot of us are in that circumstance, in many different things in life, and we don't know when to quit. So, can't be like, if it's not serving you, first off, you got to know what it is that you're trying to do. That was one of my biggest issues in my early 20s. I was very reactive in life in my early 20s. I was not proactive. Um, I just lived a life where it was like, waiting for someone else to tell me what to do, or this is how you should do things, or whatever. So you have to have a plan, know what you want to do, know how you want to do it, and move forward in that. So that way, you don't just allow life to just give you whatever, and you're just like, I don't have a plan, so I'm just gonna go with the flow. You have to have a plan, and if that circumstance doesn't serve your plan, then you can leave. You have every right to quit. You don't owe that person anything. That person isn't helping you fulfill your goals to get to where you're trying to get to. You can leave. It's okay. Like, there's no need to stay in a bad circumstance because of whatever. Now, this is what people also have to realize. Like, man, I don't really want to make this about relationships, but this is kind of what it's turning into. But I see a lot of memes online. Like, we have to be careful about the memes we put in our heads, people. Like, sometimes we'll read them and we think we're joking, but these things get subconsciously planted in your mind, and you start actually, like, trying to live these things out, and you don't even realize it. A lot of people do. Some people just don't apply to you. Majority of people, you do. And I see a lot of memes where people say, "I don't like small talk. Let's skip the small talk. Let's skip to, going on a vacation somewhere. Da da da." Like, that's why a lot of relationships are failing. That's why a lot of people have all of these these unrealistic expectations in relationships, and they wonder why is everything just falling apart. Like, there's a natural order and progression to things, and if you try to skip the order of progression, you're gonna end up with a lot of heartache. So the quote unquote small talk is for you to see, does this person match what I'm trying to do. Now, if you're just trying to party and BS all the time, then cool, yeah, let me just go on vacation with people because all I want to do is party and BS anyways. But if you're actually trying to build something sustainable and a lasting legacy, do that. Second of, you don't know who somebody is, how they are. You just thinking about you. In essence, you're being selfish, and you're being selfish to a default because you just go out somewhere with somebody. You don't know this person. You don't know how to react. Like me personally, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't care how big of a mistake someone makes who's fixing my food. I don't care. I do not like someone disrespecting someone who is fixing my food. I don't care how big a mistake that I don't care how big like I'm all about customer I am about customer service and I am about, you know, X, Y, and Z when it comes to, you know, food and stuff like that. But if I'm gonna check somebody, I'm gonna wait till I get my food. And I'm gonna make sure it's a place that I'm not going to. But most times, if it's an issue, you can handle it respectfully because you just go to somebody understanding. Like, you know, people have bad days. You choose your job, but people have bad days. And people like if I'm out with somebody and they getting snappy with the person handling my food, I'll cancel my order. Hey, hold on, hey, I don't want nothing. I'm good. You should, yeah, no, I'm straight. But you don't learn how people interact with other people. Like y'all could be out on this vacation because y'all done skipped the small talk and they didn't, you know, did something whatever, and now somebody pouring something in your food and dropping your food on the ground or rubbing your food on their property, like all type of crazy. People do crazy stuff. But had you learned, you know, when instead of trying to go out on this big vacation with somebody, maybe y'all just went to McDonald's. You would have learned that, and you would have known I can't go out with that person. Or, hey, look, we go out places. Don't disrespect people handling my food. Like I get it, don't do that. Because at the end of the day, they do something to my food, I got to deal with that. Like, oh, you told them off. So what? Like now I got food poisoning. Like, no, we're not doing that. And I've had that happen before. Younger, went to a restaurant with some teammates. They being rude to the waitress. We get back to the hotel room and everybody got diarrhea. Never again. Never again. Never. Never happening. So you can't. It's okay to quit things that aren't serving the greater overarching theme of what you got going on in your life, and that also is selflessly. Like, because the thing is not your life is not always about you. Your life is to help others as well, but you can't help somebody that don't want to help themselves. So even if you're like, you know what, I want to help people, da 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 da. You know, some people they get in mentorships or where they try, be a help to somebody, and that person not trying to do what they want to do, and they go and they're trying to press that person more than that person's pressing themselves. You gotta know when to quit. Like you gotta know when to quit. You know what Scripture tells us in the book of Proverbs? It says, "If you correct a fool, you yourself will receive a blot." People don't. For some reason they skip that part. Like, if you correct a fool, and this could be a fool in any aspect, like just anybody who is not trying to do what they need to do. If you continue to try to correct that person, you yourself will end up receiving a reprimand for that. Like when you keep trying to help somebody who don't want to help themselves, you end up getting the short end of the stick. So it's important to know when to quit things. And it's important to know when not to quit things. So you got to realize sometimes there's a difference between, there's a lesson and then there's also a correcting. But you got to know and understand which is which. And when something is trying to teach you something, you have to know when to keep going in order to get the lesson from it. I'm going to do a part 2 to this. I want to read something for you all. I may have read it before, but I'm going to read something to you all. So I want y'all to stick around and be prepared for part 2. I'll see y'all in the next video.